You know when you tell your friend that you should start a podcast?
That's what we did.
Hi, my name is Tati.
And my name is Esme.
This is the Soul and Sips podcast.
Come and have a sip with us.
Hello, hello.
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 Surprise!
I should have hidden here just a little bit.
As you can see or hear, we have a guest.
Hi, I'm the guest. I'm the
Rafa.
first one, so
Yes.
let's see. Either I'll ruin it.
We will see. We will see. But this is Rafa.
Hi, I'm Rafa.
Say a little bit about you. Where are you from? How do we know each other?
Okay, well, so many questions. I'm Rafa. My name actually can be pronounced in many, many ways. In Brazil, people say it Rafa, or which is similar to Javi. I always realize sometimes you talk about your boyfriend, and I'm like, does she mean me? No. I'm from Brazil. Grew up there, and I never planned to come to Europe actually. And it was, life happened, and then suddenly 10 years passed. I'm like, okay, I guess I moved to Europe. I think that is official now.
I guess I'm here.
Yeah. So I moved, a long time ago, and then I moved to the Netherlands 3 years ago and met these beautiful girls at work.
Yeah. We all met at work.
Crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. Work brought us together.
Exactly.
And then
Hard
because
working
Rafa is the
girls.
invite, she brought us this drink
Yeah.
called, how's it called?
So, it's the original recipe I recommend to everybody. It's an arancino. You have ice for hot days, a very beautiful shot of very good espresso, and some orange juice. Are we trying together? It's your
Yeah.
first time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Who's gonna sit?
Oh yeah, I like it. It's like a bit fresh.
Yeah, right.
Daddy is not sure. She's like, what?
It's orange juice with a hint of coffee.
Yeah.
With the sweetness.
Yes, it's
But I
just
like
like a
it.
little bit of coffee in the mouth. Like if you wouldn't know that coffee is there, you're like, what is that?
Yeah.
Do you know the Lindt chocolate that has orange and I think maybe the salty caramel as well? It gives that vibe.
Yeah, it has this like sweet and salty in a way.
True.
Interesting.
I like it.
Interesting. But now that we're here, we decided for this season of the podcast, we're gonna invite
a new
certain people.
season.
It's a new season.
Oh,
Yeah.
congrats! Yay! What
Eh.
makes it? Sorry. Okay, you go.
No.
What makes it season 1 and season 2? Is it
Well-
the spring season?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what it is.
That's the plan. Okay.
Yes.
No, I think, we just, new chapter.
New chapter. We took a
Time for a new
break.
chapter.
We learn. We recoup.
Yeah.
And then we're back.
And
Yeah.
we should be in live.
Yes, and then we wanted to like have a little different, so we want to invite people for certain topics that we already talk about.
Oh, you did already. Okay.
Well, not yet, but we will see.
Okay.
We will see how this goes. You're our first guinea pig. And then we also wanted to like ask them. We already talk about our experience and then our point of views, and then we want to invite somebody that we think could have a like just interesting point of views on certain topics.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Okay, all the truths coming out today. I'm nervous.
So
You added a shot of vodka, right? We did that.
I
should
should have.
have done that.
Yeah, I should have.
I should have done that. Yeah.
So season 2, do you have a theme for season 2, or is more like
No.
souls and like is several souls sipping several drinks?
Yes. For some of the episodes, because some of the episodes we're still doing
We
with
still
two of
us.
Okay.
and then some of them are with guests. So
Yeah.
that's
Well, thank you so much. It's so
Yeah.
exciting.
Yes.
What an honor.
well, the topic of today, which we think that you have, or we know that you have experience with, is multicultural relationships.
Okay.
So we already talked about it in our last season about our own experiences. Most of them, not all of them.
Not all of them.
Yeah.
We keep. There's no need to talk to certain things.
Yes. Some things have to be secret. Yeah.
But what is your first feeling with that term, multicultural relationship?
Okay, so I am a bit of a nerd. So sometimes Tati knows that when I'm working on a task. So if I can be very nerdy right now, I think I've never been in a multicultural relationship because multi means several and I'm not polyamorous. So I think the term is intercultural relationship.
I mean,
That's very.
I mean,
yes,
I
you
got to
have a
think
point.
Yeah, you definitely
You
have a
have a
point.
point.
the worst guest, like she's invited. I'm like, let me talk about the
You have it.
semantics.
Yeah, technically,
but you're right.
you are
Yeah.
right. We are wrong. Learn from your mistakes, people.
Yeah.
No, I think, well, what I thought thinking about this is that first I've never really thought about it, although you experience it and then you see, oh, differences and, you know, like sometimes there's a fight or something and you're like, okay, wait, is this a misunderstanding?
Yeah,
this
is this like because of how you were raised, where you were raised, or
Yeah.
is it you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
But I never, as I said, I didn't realize I was moving to Europe, so it just happened. Yeah. So growing up, I never had this idea, I'm gonna date people from different cultures. You know, it was just not a thought.
Yeah.
Because I also come from Brazil, which is such a huge country, and that feels so impossible. So I came to Europe for study, and then it was just one time and again another time, and then things happened. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I am in a, let's use the term, multicultural relationship. I love it. I guess I am in one.
Yes.
So it's sort of like kind of just happened, and then you learn on the go, and yeah, like doing mistakes or, you know, having those moments. What
Yeah,
about
because
you?
I think, like, when did you realize that like there was a different person, like from the cultural background, different background? Like when you're dating on your country, you never think about it because it's like you're always surrounded by them.
Yeah.
But then you leave the country and then you met somebody and you're like, oh, like you're so different, but at the same time, I like you.
I like you.
And then, like you said, like, you never notice it because it shouldn't be a problem. It shouldn't be a problem. Sometimes it's a problem, but it shouldn't be a problem.
But in our countries dating, then you're just like, do they come from a weird family? Like that is the thought. If there is something that you're like, why do you do things this way? So it's more like, oh, did you have some weird growing up kind of situations, or what is it that you learned that I didn't, or just small differences? But then if you're in another country, then it becomes bigger. Then it's not only the family or the upbringings, it's more like a whole society. So it really becomes a lot more complex.
Yeah, that's true.
But we've all had multicultural relationships. You, of
We all
course,
had
yes.
multicultural or intercultural
Intercultural relationships.
So we
yeah,
all
exactly.
have dealt with that, and then, like I mentioned before, like for me that was one of the like break points,
Yeah. Oh,
and then I learned from it because I wasn't accepted on his culture and all that, and his family, and it was like a little things happen, and maybe it wasn't during the relationship that obvious, but then at the end you kind of like, oh, yeah.
Then you see it.
Then you see it. You know, when you're in there in the relationship, you don't see it.
Yeah.
But then once you get out and then you think, you're like, that shouldn't have. That shouldn't happen. Yeah.
Yeah, but you also maybe try to explain things that shouldn't be the case by, oh no, they're just doing that because maybe it's a difference in cultural. But yeah, sometimes it's just the person who's not doing it.
Sometimes the person is just a shitty person, so
Yeah,
it's not just the culture. But then you also like, okay, come back to you though.
Okay.
Because you moved to Europe, but you didn't move to Netherlands first.
Yeah, I moved to Germany, which was also just I never planned. If I knew what was waiting for me, it was super nice, to be honest. Like I basically lived in the entire of Germany. I started in the south in a super cute city called Freiburg. It's close to France. And it was really nice. And then moved. Then I end up in Berlin, where people say it's just impossible to have a long-term relationship because Berlin is everyone is coming and going, and there's this feeling in Berlin that no one belongs to no one. So
interesting.
Yeah.
It's a real it's a real issue that people say dating in Berlin is basically impossible.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And did you date in Berlin?
Okay, so if we, I will share a couple of things.
Ooh.
Of course, not everything, but just in a nutshell, what happened was I came as a student in an exchange program, and then I came back. Then I came again to the university, and at the lunch table, they call it the Mensa, the university restaurant in Germany. I sat in front of this guy, and he said, "Guten Appetit," and I was like, "What?" And I think I said it somehow in like a Brazilian way, or I don't know. And he was like, "Oh, you're not from here?" I'm like, "No." And then we started chatting, and we just chatted for 1 hour. We didn't even mean to. So yeah, so love story. Woo. He comes with me to Brazil. Because he was finishing his studies, so he just came with me. And then I didn't expect, and I didn't really, I didn't know what to think of it. It was complete shock. He proposed. And and I was absolutely like, I'm so young, and it's basically my first serious relationship. I had one in the past, and yeah, it was so shocking that I think by politeness, said yes. But I was just like, my brain was like, because I do love this person. I do want to be with this person, but I was also thinking, am I too young, or, all these things.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then I thought, you know what, we can just be engaged for a long time.
Just figure it out.
Yeah, I'll figure it out later. Yeah. Typical Brazilian response. I'll figure it out later.
Figure it out. It's okay.
So okay, and but then it turned out that he needed a visa for being in Brazil, and then so not the other way around, but he needed a visa to be in Brazil.
Yeah.
So then it was like, okay, but
plot twist.
We're engaged, right? So maybe we just then officialize. And I didn't want any celebration, didn't want anything. I just, okay, let's do for the visa. So then we did it. And now you fast forward a couple of years, because I came back to Germany. I started working. I did my master's, started working, and he was doing his PhD. Mm-hmm. So he had 1 month in the US as a I don't know, exchange researcher or something. Mm-hmm. So he spent 1 month there. And I was this 1 month in Berlin, and it was just the best time of my life. I was just so happy. I made so many friends. I suddenly started doing new things. I felt so alive. That when he came back, I'm like, okay, I think we need to talk. And that was 7.5 years later. So after 7.5 years with this person, then I just said, hey, I just realized that actually I'm so much happier without you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Good for you.
Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Also, you were very young.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how old were you when you like?
When we got engaged was 20. I was 21.
Yeah, so young.
I know.
Like, I feel that back then you don't know nothing.
No,
exactly.
You don't know.
And then
True.
yes, I feel if I put myself in your shoes, and that happened to me, I feel I would have said yes then. And then 7 years later, I'm like, fuck no.
Fuck no. Fuck no. Yeah. He was shocked though. He was absolutely shocked. And I've known that person for 7.5 years, and it was the first time that I saw him angry. I was like, what is this reaction? Like, getting angry over, like, so weird. Yeah. And it was so crazy, because 2 weeks later I had a big trip to Bangladesh. So my Brazilian part, I'm gonna do this later. I just know that I'm gonna go to Bangladesh, and then let's see what happens.
Yes.
So I come back. Yeah.
But wait, like, he wanted to stay in Brazil, so that's what kind of he got married to you.
Yeah.
But
just
you
for a little bit even. We were planning to come back to Europe, but at that moment he only had like a 1-year visa.
Yeah.
So that's why to stay longer he would need a different kind of visa. And because he couldn't work for some reason, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it was the only option in the visa.
In the visa
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't recommend. Don't do this at home.
Don't do it. Oh, that's great. But then, so you live a little bit in Brazil, but then you end up moving back here anyways.
Yeah.
And he's from Germany.
Yes, he's from Germany. He's from this little town.
So you didn't use him for like the European
No,
visa, but he did use
used
you.
you for the Brazilian visa. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Wow.
And it was also another insane thing is that when we met, after a couple of months, he said, "Oh, you know what? Actually, I said when I was a child that I always wanted to marry a Brazilian." Yeah,
That's
like,
weird, yeah.
Very weird. And I
Yeah.
wasn't that much aware of these things that also men say a lot. Oh, Brazilian women, they're so beautiful. They have big butts and big boobs. And so these stereotypes, I've heard so many men say, I'm from Brazil. They look at me and say, I want to go to Brazil because the women are so beautiful. Like, what am I supposed to do with this information? And he said that. So, but okay, whatever. He was a child. Maybe it was just something he said. He saw something on TV. I don't care. After those 7.5 years, we break up. I continue living my life. I'm in Berlin still. And then I see that he has a new girlfriend. And guess where she's from?
No way,
again.
seriously?
She's from Brazil. She's brunette. She's basically my height. Like what the fuck?
Oh my god.
The guy had a type.
Yeah. Well, men?
Yeah,
Men.
men.
Men. Oh my goodness, men. Damn. Wow.
So that's the story. Yeah, kind of.
Interesting. Oh, that's so funny. We didn't know this. We know Rafa.
No,
but we
exactly.
didn't know this. So I'm like, wait, what? Oh.
Well, it was now a while ago. So yeah, and then I was so happy because the breakup and everything happened in 2019. And if it would have happened in 2020, either it would not have happened,
Yeah.
And it would have taken a couple of years more of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Which was also weird because then I was single basically for the first time in my life and then it was COVID.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. And then you cannot do anything.
Yeah,
You're,
you can do it
at
like
home.
Yeah. I honestly think like if I wasn't like in a relationship during COVID, it would have been way different. But also maybe that would have been nice. I don't know.
I don't
We'll
know.
never know.
I was not. I was studying at home every day. I was
really?
living with a roommate, but she had a boyfriend, so they were always together. I was always the third wheel. It was not the best time of my life, to be honest. I couldn't even go to university. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I was
you couldn't
single,
do
but I was
anything.
not thriving, to be honest.
I mean, I did thrive a little because that's when I moved here. A pandemic and decided to move around the other side of the
You
world.
moved during the pandemic?
Yeah, I moved in 2020.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, here. That was
I have to say,
horrible.
I did start working at our company because of COVID. Because I used to work at restaurants, and then I was looking for something I could do online. So
Yeah.
that's when I ended up in.
Yeah, because you
Crazy.
Oh, wow.
So
And then, so Rafa, now that, because we know this, you're married. Not to that guy's story.
I was happily married.
to a person that I personally know. It's very, very nice. Very nice.
Okay, that's on the
Very nice.
record. That's nice. You really admire her.
I very admire.
Exactly.
But
Perfect.
so like then because you were married then before and now you're married to another person, like how different it feels. Like of course now you're older and you know more things and you live things. But
Yeah.
like now looking back, like how does it feel like now to actually being married to like the person that like you really, really love?
Oh, completely different. Because those thoughts of like, oh my God, do I really want this? Like
Yeah.
I was so overwhelmed at that moment when he proposed. It was also such a scenic moment because we were on a beach in Cannes in the south of France and on summer. So it was like, and I think we were drinking champagne. So it was like, okay, now you get how I was like, yes. But this time around was completely different. I even told her like 5 months, no, wait, 3 months in. Women.
Before my women.
3 months in, I told her, I have to tell you a secret. She's like, yes. And I told her, one day I'm going to marry you.
So now you're the one.
And then she said, okay, I have to tell you also a secret. I already have our engagement rings.
Oh my god, that's so crazy.
Well, it's crazy, but it's so
It's so cute. I love it. Yeah.
So it was
that's
completely
lovely.
different. It was then, yeah, it's the feeling and the certainty, and also marrying your best friend is what I can just recommend to everybody. Like, marry your best friend, because this is the person you're gonna have next to you, person
Yeah,
to
it's so
support you, to be there for you, and it has to be like your best friend and also your biggest friend. Oh, sorry, your
biggest
best
fan.
friend and your biggest fan,
Yeah.
because that's where you get like somebody needs to be cheering for you, because
Yeah.
sometimes we
Yeah.
can't just have it all inside of us. It's really exhausting. We need a little push. We need somebody to be like, yeah, you can do this, go. And if you have that in your home, then you have
Yeah.
really everything.
Yeah.
So don't settle for less.
Don't settle for less.
Preach, preach, preach.
Preach. Oh, and I know, like when you, because we were at your wedding, or like the celebration that you have, crying non-stop.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
know
it was
it's
so
so,
beautiful.
cute. It's like sometimes it's like disgustingly cute. I'm like, I want to puke, but like, oh, so cute.
Okay, but we're talking about intercultural like things, right? So she's from an Eastern European country. I'm from Brazil, which seems completely like far-fetched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's actually sometimes we have these things that it's quite similar. Because she's from a small country that used to be in the Soviet Union. So it's like originally a poorer country, and you don't just grow with a lot of privileges and access to everything. It's really different. And that is basically what was in Brazil.
Yeah.
So we can really relate to with some things
A lot
growing
of
up.
things.
To
Yeah.
the like corruption and like
Yeah.
all the things that you have in your country, like they also have to suffer that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And do you feel that also is just different that you both also are in another different country that you both were born?
Oh, what do you mean?
Like, do you feel like if it would have been different if you both, let's say, live in Brazil, or if you both live in the country where she is born?
Good question.
Like, does it also affect the relationship?
Well, yeah, in Brazil particularly, we spent 6 weeks now, beginning of the year, so that's not like living, but it's quite a long time. And what really caught me is because I'm Brazilian and I grew up with being like always aware and always vigilant and being, looking who's around and if somebody's coming for getting your phone, getting something, or just might have different intentions. So when we're in Brazil, I feel a little bit like I have to be super alert and taking care of her. And she's so white and so blue eyes, and I really have to watch out for everything. So this is the thing, that if we would live in Brazil, I would have to be careful of, like, because it's really exhausting.
Yeah. And also the language. I mean, the language is just a part.
Yeah.
Like, I know we talk a little, like I talked a little bit with her, and she told me like, yeah, like at some point you really need to learn the language.
Definitely,
Like, if
but
you
in
move
Brazil,
there.
people
Yeah.
will just, like, they will teach you. Like, it's,
You will learn because you live there and you will learn.
yeah,
that.
people
Yeah.
talk to you. It's different than the Netherlands. What about you? So what are your learnings, Esme?
I think, I don't know. I think for us, it's really, really important to talk a lot, like about everything.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really good point that you said earlier. Like, it's maybe not even somebody's culture, but could also be somebody's family dynamic or whatever. I don't know. But if you talk about it, I think that's really how you learn from each other and how you can, take the things that you want in your life and like choose to keep those, and other things that you don't want, you let go of.
Oh, so good.
I think talking is like really the way to like overcome any issues that you could have because of culture, because we both came from very different backgrounds. So where you kind of had similarities, for us our childhoods were like completely different. So
Is that an issue sometimes? Like, oh, you wouldn't understand me
no,
because...
it's not really an issue because we always talk about it and like we always like listen to each other's perspective. I think that's really really important. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like as long as you like talk and
Yeah.
understand the other person, even if you don't have things in common, it is fine. It's like you understand where I come from and you know that it's different.
Exactly.
But also it is kind of in the past. It's like now it's us and then we're together.
yeah, exactly.
And let's enjoy us.
Yeah, and like where you want to go together, as well.
Yeah.
So,
Aww, so cute.
They're also so cute.
So
Yeah.
It's
cute.
amazing.
But are there any things that like really shock you or something, or like shocked you cultural wise in your relationship, or not really? Like something that you cannot understand, even though it's a very small thing.
That I cannot understand. Maybe like a thing that I think that Latinas maybe would struggle with dating somebody.
Look at me, I was like,
Latinas.
I
Angel. Is that we can go really high, no super generalizing, but we have a tendency of going very high on the being quite not I don't know if mad is the word, but being a bit
Passionate.
Yes,
Very
I think the
passionate.
passionate part. Thank you.
How am I the one to get to?
Thank you.
Feel this sentence.
because you live with a Latina.
Exactly. You live in a Latino.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And going back to like, okay, all good. So really like in a telenovela, they're like, oh, somebody just went down the stairs, and then next scene everybody's having breakfast together.
Yeah.
And allowing to go there, and sometimes I felt that some partners would be a little bit, oh, but why are you so extreme in that? And they would think something is deeply wrong, like she must be so upset. And actually not. It's just a normal kind of expression of emotion.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I did learn that, like, acknowledge those passion things. Even though I don't think I'm that passionate, depends what I'm talking about. But it's also communicate. It's like, okay, I know I'm having a big emotion, but like, it's not a big deal. Like, communicate to the other person. It's like,
Yes, that's
it's not a big deal.
good.
It's just me being dramatic and Latina, but
Yeah, exactly.
chill.
I love that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's not a big deal, but let me have a big deal about it. I will make a big deal about it.
Yeah. When I'm gonna make a big deal about things, I always tell Dana, my partner, okay, so you know I'm a Gemini, right? And then she's ready.
Just like,
Give it to me. She's like prepared.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I said this to my therapist the other day, and she didn't know I'm a Gemini. I also didn't know it would resonate with her. And she's like, okay, all right, you are a Gemini, now listen. So good. Okay, thank you.
That's so funny.
I love it. Actually, I'm not a Gemini, but then I'm also not, because I'm not like that, like very loud and passionate and all that. Like, I feel I'm more tame Latina. Very tame. But and then I wonder if that has to do with my horoscope.
Oh, could be.
Maybe.
Could be.
Yeah.
Maybe we should look into it.
Yeah, you should.
I will Google
Another
it.
episode of Souls and
Yes,
Steps.
exactly.
Looking at your horoscopes.
I will Google it. That was one idea to look into.
But definitely, like for me, I think both kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is something I had to learn to understand.
Yeah.
So, for example, one thing that was very interesting to me is that we were chatting about how people in the Netherlands, if you're walking and you're sort of in the way, they might just push you or just go in a little bit of a, for us, would be aggressive way around you, or just like, and my partner said, I don't see it that way, because it's just like, oh, I was on the way, the person passed, done deal.
Yeah.
You know, like just so simple like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you go to Brazil, you will see how people will be like, I am so sorry. So sorry. I'll just go here. Are you okay? Oh, so nice seeing you. Like, it's just this whole thing for just passing or something. And we take so much attention in making sure the other person doesn't think that you're impolite.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So that was very interesting to see also how do I perceive things on the streets, because
Yeah.
I feel like, oh, this person was like, why are they being like this? And in my head, all of this is going, but in everybody else's head, nothing is going. They're just like walking past.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's very interesting that you said that. I am one of those that I don't care.
Yeah, me neither. I also don't.
Yeah,
but
I
that's
also
that's
don't
kind of
care.
also the thing. I think like you become aware of those very small things like this.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, for me that's different, or for that person that's different again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But do you have I started like a dating, like for example, I haven't dated any Dutch guy, but they say like, you know, the tiki.
Yes.
they will take you everything.
Oh, like splitting.
Yeah,
splitting the
splitting
bill.
everything. And like, I don't know, I'm used to with like friends and all that, like we always do that, like and then it's like, oh, if I buy this, I will buy you this. It's more chill. But I heard that like when you date like a Dutch guy here, they will tiki you. And by the way, tiki is like
PayPal.
it's like a
or-
PayPal, Venmo.
split.
It's like
Yeah.
you send like a request for money, and it's connected to your banks, and then they will send you for everything. Like if you go for a coffee, they will send you a ticket for a coffee, like €3. I never had that.
But I also never had that.
I never
to
had
be
that, but
honest.
I mean-
think it depends on what kind of person. Like,
Yeah, what kind of
people
person.
you're with, because I don't see that happening, and I also don't see my brothers doing that to
To the girlfriends.
anyone they're dating. No.
Okay.
Because I heard that. So, but those are like the little tiny things that like, if I come right away from Colombia, I will be like,
What the fuck?
what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Now I'm like a little used to that,
Yeah.
so that's fine. But then, is there something like tiny little thing that you like, also like dating somebody like in Germany, and then also then in the Netherlands here, that you find like one of those little things you're like, oh.
Well, the money definitely. My ex would be in the sense kind of category, and in Germany, it's not a tiki; it is money. It
Oh,
is
like literally
coins.
physically.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's why they're having some issues right now in the country. I left, they're having issues now, because they're really like not technology forward. So yeah, paying with coins, paying with cash bills is just so normal that. Yeah, I would remember those days of sharing the 1 cent, and he would do it with his roommate. 1 cent and 2 cents in Germany, which I found out are not a thing in the Netherlands.
No, you cannot get
They don't exist. Like they don't accept it. If you want to put like 1 cent coins and 2 cent coins somewhere, they just are not allowed to accept it because there is not part of the currency in the Netherlands.
Yeah, they took it out.
Really?
Yeah.
I never pay attention here in the Netherlands.
It used to be, but it's like because of inflation, like it's just not worth anything anymore. So then
Yeah.
they needed to take it.
But also here, like it's really hard to find a place here that you can have to use cash.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Which I
Almost
I
nowhere.
honestly love, but
Yeah.
yeah, I do love it.
Being anonymous or like this feeling.
No, because I feel I don't know, like having all the cash. Yes.
Years with money.
Like I just have that. It's always so messy. It smells. I feel it's always dirty. And when you
I mean,
put
you're
it,
from
you have to
Colombia.
have.
Money there has a history.
Yeah, but then also it like is so dirty, and then you have a bunch of bills on you, and you need a big wallet to put them in because I like to have my tiny little wallet that is like so flat it doesn't fit. But then how I'm gonna put the bills in there, and they're so big, and then the smell and the coins they're a lot, and
So you like it or you don't like
I don't like it.
Ah, okay. I was thinking you were saying that you like it.
I don't like it.
I like just to grab my phone and be like beep beep.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
I
but
love
guys,
that.
I realized we don't have a dilemma written down.
We usually have a dilemma. Ooh,
Okay.
I have one.
Oh,
Okay.
Like now that we're talking about the relationship and all that, if you have to move, would you rather move to Latvia or to Brazil?
oh, for me.
whoa,
Oh my God, girl. You're putting me in a difficult position.
Drama.
You mean for the whole life?
Yeah. Like let's say something happens in the Netherlands and you have to like leave, and those are the only two options because your partner is from there.
So I think, thinking about the family, I think my wife would rather we move to Brazil. I would think so. But then we are regularly visiting Latvia. But I think for us, it would be like where we would have things that we both love, that we can both do, that it's also big enough. Because the thing in Latvia is that it's very small. Yeah. So if you're living in the big city, she says there's things that I love and I also don't love, that you go out and then you will see people that you know, like always, you know, like you go to this bar where the artists go, you will see the artist of the town there.
Yeah.
So I guess Brazil, yeah.
I will check with her wife. I will like. I heard you moving to Brazil.
Also, Brazil is so big. We can just
Also,
go
it's so
many
big.
places.
You can go anywhere.
Yeah, true.
And you just learn Portuguese.
Yeah, definitely. She
It's
already.
fine. She will like eventually learn how to dance. It's fine.
She does already. She's really good. What about you?
Like mine, if I have to move. Ooh, I don't think I will ever move to Colombia. So I will move somewhere else.
Oh my God, why?
Yeah, no. There's things that I miss and I love, but I don't see myself moving back there.
Because of the culture, because of opportunities.
I love both. But I think a lot of the cultures now that I haven't lived there for 10 years, I think I can chuck a lot and I'll be like, I can't deal with this. I'm sorry, I can. But I understand, and I also, even when I was living there was a lot of things that I was like, I just don't get it why it has to be like this way. So I feel that I couldn't, and also the opportunities later on, like the quality of life that I want, and then later for my future, I don't think I could get it there.
Okay, can I have a counter dilemma?
Yes.
And then we get to Esme. But if you would have a child, and you have two options. Either your child grows and you have to live in Colombia and then the child has your culture from Colombia.
Yeah.
Or your child lives and grows up in, for example, the Netherlands and is not in touch with your culture at all. And basically does not learn your culture.
Like nothing at all.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. I think I will still stay here, even if it hurts with all my heart.
Okay.
Oh, but like, I don't know. The culture is different. That's difficult. I don't know, because that's why I also think about it. Like I know I'm gonna grow up here and I probably have kids in here, but I will bring them the culture and I will put them in there a few vacations in there. So they will still grow up with that, but not
Go with
having...
grandma for a month.
Yeah, exactly. I will bring my mom. It's like, just deal with my mom. I have to deal with her. That you have to deal with it. So the culture, I know the culture, they will still have knowledge of that. But not having it at all,
harder.
that is more hard. Yeah, because that will... Ooh.
Yeah, but that's also just part of you. So
Exactly. So also how will avoid that? How can I avoid that? So they just give that a part of me. That's difficult.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What about you, Esme?
If I had to choose between here forever or in Cuba?
Yes.
I mean, Cuba is not doing so well. But I have to say, I really love the tropical vibe and I would like to try, honestly, to live there if this situation was better.
Okay.
If the situation with the government, everything would have been better, then I would honestly try.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. But right now, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right now, going there.
Right now, it's
difficult.
just not. It's not gonna happen. We're not even gonna go there for a holiday.
Oh.
So,
Yeah, no, that's hard.
So for now, it's the Netherlands.
Yeah. I think it also comes with for example, me. I wanted to leave the country, and I left the country for a reason. So it's kind of well, I don't want to come back either because it's I worked so hard to get a better life. I'm not gonna go back to what I left.
Yeah.
So that's also that mentality for me.
Yeah,
which you didn't have that, or
Yeah, but what I sometimes am, because you guys, you have started a new life in a country where you're both not from.
Yeah.
And here is basically, he is in my country where I have all my friends and my family. So I don't know, I think I would like for us to start somewhere else together, you know?
Singapore.
Yeah, I would love to, but maybe Spain one day.
Okay, nice.
But sometimes it feels not unfair, but a bit unequal or something, you know? That I have all these things and all these people, and besides that, I would like to also move abroad. I always wanted to move abroad, to be honest. And I met him here in the perfect moment, and then it was okay, now we're gonna stay. But I still want that. I really want that experience. No matter how good the Netherlands is, yes, I love it here. I have all my friends and my family and everything, but I also want to have that experience of starting a life somewhere else, you know?
Yeah,
for
definitely
real.
do it before you really settle down. If you have kids one day or something, do it at least once.
Exactly. So I really want that, and sometimes I feel like I'm missing out a little bit.
Oh no, okay, come on, okay.
One day, yeah, exactly. But one day, yeah. one day I will.
But the good thing of like, yeah, different cultures in one relationship is that you learn so much from each other.
Yeah.
And then you can like shift your perspective. Oh, this is also a way to see the world.
Yeah.
Like my example of going on the streets, if she wouldn't have explained that to me in those words, I would never have seen it like that.
Yes.
It would always be like, why are people so mad at me?
Yeah, I feel like you just learn so much, and I think that's why I love having friends from different like you learn so
Yeah.
much from them.
Yeah.
Just because it's a different perspective.
Yeah.
And you just learn from that, and you're like, oh, my point of view of how I see things in my head is not the only way.
No,
Those people
there's
see
different.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how. I mean, that's what kind of we started the podcast.
Yes,
to talk about
exactly.
all this, and then be like, you can learn so much from other people just from where they're from.
Yeah,
all the
and just by
experience they
talking.
have.
Yeah.
Just by talking, sipping.
And sipping.
Yeah.
And sipping. Did you like it?
Yes.
I did like it.
I really liked it. It's done.
I feel like it's very refreshing, so I like it. Well, I
Well,
think that was it for today.
yeah. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Rafa, for
It
joining.
was so fun.
Very happy with our first guest.
Yes.
Couch is really good. I recommend it.
Yes. We know. And then don't forget to like, subscribe, all the things. And Rafa, shout out. She also has a podcast.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So go and listen to Rafa's podcast.
Yes, go to Street Smarts, str.smarts, on Instagram, on YouTube.
We will post all the things
Yes,
there.
exactly.
But
We
see you
will.
next time.
Oh, it was so fun. Thank you so much.
Do. Bye.